Family is fun, but it can get a little complicated, right?
But it's also where the real engaging stories are.
Here, there's no filter, no lies, just straight family talk.
My name is Hlelo.
And I'm Ntando.
Join us for Gifted. You in?
Stop what you're doing. Stop right there. We just came to let you know that you're right on time, you're not behind, and you are exactly where you're meant to be. What's up, Gifties? It's Hlelo and Ntando in the building.
Put down that checklist.
There's no such thing as a checklist.
A checklist doesn't exist, right?
Yes, welcome to our podcast. This is Ntando and that is Hlelo. Welcome to Gifted. And this episode is going to be a little bit different today because we are actually answering a question that we had in one of our DMs.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's going down in the DMs.
Yeah.
That's where we chat to most of our gifties.
Yeah.
It's gifties, it's fam, it's whatever we call it now.
Yeah.
Because technically, you're part of the family. If you're watching this, you're part of the family.
So,
you're not just the giftie, but you're part of the family.
So we're not saying gifties anymore because I still feel like we should still say gifties. But if you feel like calling, they're family, you're right.
It's
So whether we say
Hello.
hello family or hello gifties, it's exactly the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so today we're speaking about the gift of time. And actually, before we get there, let's do a bit of a check-in because look, we started this season on a hot note.
Oh, yes.
So we started season 2 with our big brother Fortune, and we just got into it. I mean, we hit the ground running as soon as the new year started.
Yes.
And we feel like we actually haven't really had any time to
catch our breath.
Catch our breath.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm so excited about season 2, but I really feel like, I mean, we had this discussion with Mwiri and Langa, and we really did feel like, okay, how about today we do things a little bit more differently and really check in because the year has been really exciting.
No, it's been fantastic.
It has
been. I don't really like to talk about this kind of stuff, but somebody actually because it's usually, hey, I love your work from the past, you know.
Yeah.
But we actually had, in the last few weeks, people are recognizing us and they're talking to us about our podcast.
Yes.
So this has been fantastic.
Yes.
So people are watching.
They're watching, and I think what's one of the most important things for me is making an impact.
Yes.
I think it's not about just coming here and we actually have you noticed how we rarely even get complimented about the way we look, which is how we love it really, because people are
it's not about that.
Because it's not even about that. People are really here for the conversations, and that's why this podcast is here. We speak about just speaking about things that matter to us.
Yes.
It kind of puts a perspective on life really, because it's not just about us.
Yes.
The things that I go through, the things that you go through are things that millions of people around the world are going through.
Yes.
And I just love that. I just love that people are here for the conversations, you know.
No. One thing I also realized about doing this podcast specifically about family this year is a family is a place where you get obviously the most love.
Yes.
But it's also where you can probably get the most hurt.
Yes.
You know, sometimes, I spoke to a lady, I forgot her name right now, but she was also saying, she was like, I love the podcast. I love what you guys are doing there, building families, which is great, which was essentially the whole point of doing this.
Yeah.
Because literally, guys, South African content, you guys know, we're not even lying. Like, I remember before this podcast even started.
Yeah.
I remember we used to watch shows on, like, especially local shows, and it used to be kind of like, guys, where's the family building?
Where's the wholesome family
Where's the
content?
wholesome stuff? You know, and I remember because that kind of content is none.
Yes.
Essentially, and there could be some shows maybe you guys can tell or share with us, right?
Yeah.
There could be some shows like that.
Yeah.
But the reason why we actually started the podcast is for that kind of representation. You know, we don't do family perfectly, right? We're not a perfect family, but I think we do it well.
We do it well, definitely.
So I felt like, and I know both of us, we felt like this has to be represented.
Yes.
You know, and like I was telling you, there's a lady that I bumped into, and she was like, you know what, I wish this for my family. I wish this kind of love that you have. She was referring to our Big Brother episode with Fortune. And she also, told me a sad story just about family, about her family, that, that's actually where the most hurt she's received, So I kind of even want us to start delving into those kinds of topics because we are speaking about family. Yes, there's a lot of love, but your family members can hurt you.
Definitely.
You understand?
And I mean, we also have issues that we go through with the family. Like you were saying, we're not here to say we are perfect. Oh, look at us. Definitely not.
So we must talk about that kind of stuff.
We have to definitely talk about that kind of stuff. But so the year's been great. We're looking forward to plenty more exciting episodes. So like Hlelo has said earlier on, if you don't want to leave a comment on our YouTube comment section, please send us a DM. Because we respond not only to every single comment on our channel, but we also respond to every single DM that we receive on Instagram. And we really appreciate it. Oh, and we got a TikTok now. Woohoo! Yeah, I never thought I'd have a TikTok. So that's me doing new things in 2025. So proud of myself. Look at me on TikTok. I'm not dancing yet. I'm not lip syncing yet. But you can follow us on TikTok as well. It's Hlelo and Ntando on that platform. So.
Yes. Okay, cool. So today's episode is titled The Gift of Timing. This content...
the gift of time.
You're right, the gift of time. So this comes from Warapi from Namibia.
Shout out Namibia.
Shout out to Namibia. Shout out to Warapi. She's part of the family. She's Giftie.
Definitely a family member.
And she had just watched The Gift of 40 episode, right? And there were plenty of topics that we actually didn't cover on that episode because we did want to do a part 2. But she brought up some interesting topics that we haven't even spoken about on the podcast. And we thought this would be a great episode to cover it, right, on the gift of time.
Yeah.
She spoke about societal checklists and pressures because, now we're over 40. Here's how her email read. Warapi from Namibia. It says, "Hi, Hlelo and Ntando. How do you guys and how did you guys deal with the pressure of timing?" Right? The first thing she wrote is the biological clock, the pressure of marriage as one ages while still trusting and waiting on God, right? And then she said, did you ever feel any pressure of taking matters into your own hands?
Like, you're going to marry me no matter what you say. You don't have a choice. Come with me. No. I don't, maybe that's what she meant.
Yes. And she says she just loved to hear our perspective because she's seen every episode of the podcast and she just liked to hear our views on that.
Okay, so what was the first question? What was the first?
So the first one says, how do you guys and have you ever dealt with the pressure of timing, especially the biological clock?
Yeah, and actually, when we read this comment, the very first time she put it on in November, I actually thought about it and I was like, whoa, she's actually asking questions that I've never thought about before.
Yes.
I've never really been the kind of a person to like think to myself, oh, I have to have a baby by the time I'm 35, or I have to have been married by the age of 32, and I have to have, I've never really thought about my biological clock at all. It's never been like a worry for me. And in fact, I've always wanted to have children when I get married. So I'm not married right now. And until I get married, I have no intentions of having a baby. And look, I'm not shaming anybody else who's had babies that way, because I mean, look where we are now. You know what I'm saying? But it's never been a worry for me. Have you ever thought to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm getting old, I have to have kids?
No, it's never like. I think I was telling Ramesh this. I may have been telling Ramesh this at the beginning of the year or the end of last year.
Yeah.
That I've never even thought about having my own kids. Even my nieces and nephews know. Where knows? We speak about this.
I'm sure you have asked me if.
So they probably ask more than anyone else. And I think Tish, in fact, was the first person in the family to ask, hey guys, and this was this year, just a few months ago. We've never had this conversation before. Have you guys considered having children, or do you guys want to have children? What's your?
I never thought about it.
That's the thing.
I never thought about it, and I've never even been in a relationship where somebody said to me, "Okay, look, now we're gonna have a child."
Yeah.
Because had that happened, I would have probably said, "Okay, so are we getting married or
this is the dress I want to wear?"
I would have sent wedding photos, wedding designs and everything.
Right.
So it's never so. To answer her question, Warapi, I've never thought about my biological clock, and
this is true. This is a true story. Because many people, not just Warapi, asked this. We had many comments asking about this.
Oh yeah, actually we did have quite a few comments.
We had that. So I think for people, especially women with children, because they understand the joy that having children and having a family brings. So they may ask you, thinking that wow,
I
you're
feel the
missing
same.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, you're missing out on this pleasure. What a pleasure, what a joy,
Yeah.
you know? And maybe they want you to experience even just a slice
Yeah.
or, you know, a piece of that action, you know?
But it should I start worrying about my biological clock, Warapi, you'll be the first person to know. I'll DM you first, girl, don't worry. What else did she ask there? Or did you actually want to add on that topic?
Yeah, no, and to many people it may sound weird,
Yeah.
but we literally have like 14 and probably, is it 14 or 15 nieces and nephews? How many
Have
of
you
you
guys
are there?
counted?
13, 14, 15, somewhere there. Yeah,
There's
somewhere.
somewhere
I think
there.
it's 14. Mom and dad obviously know
Yeah.
best, right? But I've never felt like I lack in this place. Like a child would fill me up. It's never been my goal.
Yeah.
And I know for many people they feel like it's their purpose. So for me it's never been something that's attracting. I think for both of us.
Yeah,
really.
and we present aunties, because you see on Reels, they always portray aunties as these people that come in and out of their nephews and nieces'
Yes.
lives. Like they come in there, throw money in the air, bring the toys and then leave.
Yes.
We actually present. Like when we spend time with our nephews and nieces, it's quality time. We sit, we talk, we chat every day through social media. Like whether it's TikTok or DMs or WhatsApp, I'm literally communicating with them throughout the day, every day.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
not all of them every day, but chances are I'm speaking to everyone who has a phone will hear from me.
Yes.
You know?
And sometimes our auntie duties will expand where now you're
Yes.
doing school runs.
And fun stuff.
Yes,
You
that
know?
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So honestly speaking, no pressure there.
Definitely not. And there was another question that she had that
she
we
also
can touch
spoke
on.
about the pressure of marriage as one ages while still trusting and waiting on God. So that's a big
pressure.
one.
Okay, so I've also never felt pressurized to get married.
Yeah.
Not like I haven't. How do I put this? I've met really great guys in my life, and I've never really thought. Okay, I'm gonna get married here. Like I've never been in a situation where it's like lands or shut. I've never thought about that. So, meaning that probably I clearly haven't found the one person who I feel could be, you know, like the one. You know what I mean? But I am not in a rush to find the one. I'm not in a rush to be a Mrs. Somebody. You know, and. I was even saying it earlier on when we were just preparing, and I was like, you know, it actually feels I'm not in a rush. Like my life is not rushed.
Yeah.
I'm so relaxed. I'm so at peace with the way that my life is going, with the things that are happening every single day, and I'm very intentional about how I live every day. So it's not even about I wake up and I'm on a dating app or I'm Googling to see which are the best places to meet men or whatever, you know. I'm happy. I'm happy. And should the guy come around, definitely. In fact, I'm not under pressure. I'm sure my husband is watching now thinking, that's my wife. Maybe he's under pressure. He's
that's
thinking,
her sister.
You know what I'm saying? And he should be more under pressure than me, you know. He's probably thinking, okay, I gotta go in because she's looking fly today. Someone might, you know, get it in today. So he should be under pressure. And I feel like the more that I work on myself every single day, and the more that I have quality time with my family, I feel so full. I don't feel empty. I don't feel like I lack a date.
Yeah.
You know, like I like a fun time. I mean, we do joke about it with Nwedi or Botselo, you know, when we get together. We do joke about the dates, but it's a joke. Like maybe we'll be having like a fun moment, you know, like all four of us will be together and we'll be like, guys, Sabawal, a young date, you know. We do have those moments.
Sabawal, but 50 red roses delivered.
You know, like Sabawal chocolate, Sabawal, you know, like candlelight and even those moments where you're getting ready for a date, you know, those moments where you're getting ready, the butterflies, the excitement where you're all in the same room, you're like, what are you going to wear? What perfume are you going to put on? We talk about that stuff, but we don't talk about it from a sense of lack.
Yes.
You know, we talk about it from a sense of, from a place of, imagine that, you know, one day it's going to happen for us. But we're still full. Our cups are so full, you know.
I think because we've been through a period of isolation.
Yeah.
Like we've been through a period of wilderness where even Edith was talking about this on her episode.
Yeah.
She was just like, she's been through that period where she was forcing to do things her way.
Yeah.
You know, and that...
And Warapi actually spoke about that, about doing things. So you can
in
actually
fact,
touch a little bit on that.
Taking matters into your own hands. Yes. So... even in my past, the relationships that I've forced
Yeah.
have literally backfired
What
in
do
my
you mean by
face.
forced?
Like, even when you feel good, I know
It's
here,
not happening.
It's not happening. As there's vibes here, man, and going against my intuition
Yeah.
or just what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Not using my
senses.
spidey senses.
Yeah.
Even when they were tingling, it's like, oh, red flags, maroon flags. There I was.
Yeah.
Oh, babe, let's do
Look,
this.
neon red.
Yeah.
You're like, no, let's kick it, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
those
discernment is everything.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Those have literally backfired. And I think I learned after my period of isolation, right?
Were you in isolation? Like,
Yeah, no, for real. Because remember, it was like that, ripping everything apart.
yeah.
Any ideas of who I thought I was, in my head, what I thought I was, getting over myself, essentially, dropping the ego and actually looking at who's legs, who's Hlelo, you know what I'm saying? I learned so much about myself in that process. Like,
Oh, wait, don't give away too much, because I actually do have questions, because I feel like if you're going to answer right now, you're
Okay.
actually going to take away from the other parts
Okay.
of the
Your
topic,
dialogue.
of the other parts of the dialogue. So I have a few. So she touched on, if you want to read her message again at the end about God, where she asked about God's timing.
Yeah, and then, okay, and I'd really love to listen to an episode of your podcast on the gift of timing and when you serve the God of time.
That's the thing. Okay, so there is a verse in the Bible that does speak about time, and then you can actually touch on every single point that I have here, and you can answer me, because I don't want you to overlap your conversation.
okay, great.
Okay, cool. So Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 to 8, okay? It says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build.
Yes.
A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. How
Yeah.
powerful is that? How powerful is the God that we serve?
I literally understand that
Every
verse.
single one of these points, right? So I actually just want to just dive into it a little bit deeper, Lex, and just to have just this conversation about what time has done for us in our lives,
Right.
And then we can just give our perspective of what time has done for us.
Okay.
So one of the points that I have here is how the gift of time has actually humbled me, right? But not only humbled me just to humble me, but humbled me enough to be able to go back, to apologize to certain people, or actually ask for help where I need it. So over time, I found that in the beginning, when you're trying to do everything in your own strength, it was so tiring for me, because I really thought that I was the master of my own life. Like, I thought that I was the beginning and the end. I thought that I was the Alpha and Omega. So each time I wake up, I'm in charge and in control of everything that I do, not even thinking about the consequences. But over time, when you do live life like that, you disappoint people along the way, and even disappointing yourself, right? So what I mean by humbling yourself enough to apologize or even asking for help is I found myself drowning, emotionally and spiritually. And over time, I was able to even go to now our brothers or mom or dad or family members and really ask them for help where I needed it, you know? Did you ever find yourself maybe in a situation where, even with us, where you felt like, no, maybe your pride got in the way?
Yeah, I definitely. I think even in that kind of context, I had a lot of pride. But that's also coming from, like the millennials. Now I'm actually understanding.
Yeah.
It's these deeply rooted thoughts of, I'm an independent woman, I can do everything alone.
Yeah.
And not realizing that in itself is isolating.
Yeah.
So that when things get hard and things get difficult, when it's time to reach out to somebody, it's like, who do I call?
Yeah.
How do I even ask? I've never had to, I've literally, there was a time where I've literally never had to ask for help, because everything had gone swiftly in my life, you understand? until where it was kind of like that T-junction where God was like, now I'm working on your ego, I'm working on your pride.
Yeah.
So what's that? What does that entail?
Yeah.
That entails you asking for help.
Yeah, and now how do you feel about asking people for help? How do you feel now?
I absolutely love it. I love it.
I love asking for help, and I love being offered help.
Because you know why, Ntando? It doesn't make me a weak person.
Yes.
Because that was my idea of it. Like, it would show, it's a sign of weakness to ask for help. No, it actually shows strength.
Yes.
And I realized that, let's say I'm looking for an idea from somebody.
Yeah.
My ideas are not the be-all and the end-all.
Yeah.
There's people who are smarter than me, way more creative than me, who've achieved way more than me, whose ideas that I absolutely love. So I love to tap into, what do you know? Hey, teach me what you know. You understand?
Yeah, I'm interested in this as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think having a learning spirit, even in our 40s, is something that's literally changed my life as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a student. I'm a student and I'm learning and I will learn until, God says it's time. You understand?
Yeah.
So just in terms of timing, that for me and asking people for
help.
Ask people,
And it's a time thing, because remember, everybody in the beginning of their life, where you become very conscious of who you are, when you become very self-aware.
Yes.
In a sense, and when I mean self-aware, I mean when you become an adult. Remember, now you kind of tap into adult zone,
right?
And now you start doing things on your own. And in the beginning, the pride will come in, where you're like, no, I told my parents I was going to move out of the house, so I need to stand on my own.
Yes.
It's like, guys, if you don't have food, freak, like, ask for help.
Ask for help.
Like, what, you're going to starve now, or, lay on your back for bread? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, no, like, go back home. Go back home. Put your pride aside and go back home.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with the prodigal son. Remember what happened with the prodigal son? He literally asked for all his inheritance while his father was still alive. He literally squandered everything.
Right.
And what did he have to do? Eventually, when he was eating with the pigs, he had to put his pride aside and go back home and apologize to his father. And I think time really will let you humble yourself enough to be able to just, if you're watching this now and you feel like your heart is being convicted, maybe you should go back and apologize to somebody, because time has gone by and maybe they've forgiven you already, and maybe you should go back and ask for help. Don't be drowning on your own. So maybe this is the sign for you to actually go out there and put your pride aside. And just, reach out to people.
We belong in a community.
We do belong in a community.
And we've spoken about this on the podcast before, that, everything, the way the world now is designed, is everything's about me. But we actually belong
in a community. We thrive better. That's
like
when we
thrive better,
Yeah. So. And another part of the gift of time for me is how time can actually change your perspective. And I just think it's so important, because you can meet somebody for the very first time and not get along with them and not like them at all, But over time, your perspective can change over somebody. You can meet somebody and think, they stuck up, her skirts are too long, she talks too much about Jesus. Nudge, who we're speaking about. But over time, you get to learn that, hey, I need this person in my life. And they're actually good for me.
Yes.
But there's also a flip side to that, because over time, your perspective can change over somebody, because you could meet somebody and think, oh, wow, we're hitting it off. And meanwhile, if you give yourself a few more days, months, weeks, years, you can actually find that, no, this person is wicked, and I don't need to be spending time with this person anymore. But I just feel like just time has given me a place of perspective. I look now and I'm like, wow, like I used to have certain feelings about certain people, but now when time has gone on, there's people who I never want to talk to again, because my perspective has changed. And
not only when it comes to people, just like now, ideas, things that
like
now we literally just spoke about marriage and just spoke about children. Tomorrow you can wake up and be like, oh snap,
I want a baby.
You understand?
And it's allowed.
It is allowed. But when I was younger, and I see a lot of young people who do it, like when somebody says something on a public platform, they come back a year later on, people are like, is this you?
Yeah.
Aren't you the one who said that? It's like, do you know life?
We're not robots.
Nothing is cast in stone.
Yeah.
We're moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by us, when you're stuck, those are people who generally don't change their minds. But the more you're exposed to people the more you travel, the more you talk to people, the more experiences you have. It's actually kind of what, you know, you kind of shape shift and, you know, you're allowed to change your perspective.
And another idea would be, you know, sometimes you may have the idea of starting a business. And I see a lot of people, like, they'll start a business because they're thinking, okay, this is a great idea. But then over time, when you start working, then you like, actually, you change it. You're like, actually, maybe I should get a job. And then immediately you get the job and you can be in the job for a little while, but you can actually change. You're like, actually, wait a minute. I think I was better off starting my business, and it's allowed still. It doesn't mean that you've quit the 9 to 5 and you're a loser and you're a quitter. No, you just change your perspective. You thought starting a business was a good idea, went to work, and then you thought that working wasn't a good idea. You went back to your business. Guys, it's allowed. It's allowed.
And it's allowed. People are allowed to also work 9 to 5s. I've seen this, like, what's with this? Not everybody is born to be an entrepreneur, to be a business person.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we all have a different calling and we're all anointed for different things.
Exactly.
Like, I can imagine life if we all just wanted to be CEOs. We'd have no one working for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I hear what you're saying. Everybody is built for different things.
Right.
And I feel like time is so important, because even as a person, when you're sitting alone, you actually think to yourself, is what do I really want to do? Who do I really want to become? And what do I have to do to become that person?
Right.
And another important point about time, what time teaches us, is patience. And a lot of people think patience is waiting, which is not really waiting. So patience is actually the attitude you keep while waiting.
Right.
So it's more of, what are you doing while you're waiting?
It's a doing word. Patience.
Oh, I love
is a
that. So
doing
what do you
word.
mean by that? When you say that patience is a doing word, what do you
It's
actually
your
mean?
heart posture.
Yeah.
What are you doing while you are waiting? In inverted commas.
Yeah.
Right? Are you serving? Because sometimes you make it about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, this is not happening. This is not happening. No, go out there and help someone.
Yeah.
It takes your attention off yourself, because life is not only about you.
It's not.
You know? And the more you actually do for others, the more you heal, the more you find your way. So that works for me. So.
Yeah. And I also feel like also learning new skills. So I just wrote new skills here because even in our time of solitude, we were learning new skills. And I think a lot of, if you had watched our first episode, we spoke about how, you know, we bought a camera and a laptop and lighting and sound, and we learned how to use them. And even though we may not have used it, we actually have used every skill that we've actually learned. But now
nothing
is ever wasted. So when you are waiting, learn those new skills. You know, you may want to be a makeup artist. Learn how to do makeup. Start with your own face. Maybe you're nervous to start on other people's face, or your family members won't, you know, sit in their chair for you. Start on your own self. Start on your friends, and you know, start with your small community, because those people are always going to be willing to help you if they want to see you succeed, right? So. And also, when you, like, even with us now, because now we've got the skills, right? But we still have Ngwedi and Langa who help us, you know, when we do the podcast. But they can only help us because we also know how to do it. So that Ngwedi, when she needs help, can come to me and say, hey, Ntando, I need to do this with the lighting, or I need to do this, because now you know what to do. And now she's coming to you to ask, and you can actually bounce off each other, even with Langa as well, you know? And another one that makes time a gift is change of appetite. So time has literally changed my appetite over time. So my appetite has changed, but my appetite for many things, and I think you would agree with me when we say, like, it's changed maybe your relationships, like maybe your taste. Is there anything else that you feel like time has changed your appetite in? Or has your appetite just
generally
been the same?
For so many things?
Like what?
Like, for instance, I used to be like a go. This is this, trailblazing this. I mean, we're the first people to do this. We did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I used to literally get a thrill out of that.
Yeah.
And those are for me, those things don't matter. Like, time has taught me that it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, people can recognize you for it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It may be like huge and viewed as big in other people's eyes.
Yeah.
But so for me, those types of things, nah.
You don't even, and I get exactly what you're saying.
So that's my appetite for that kind of thing has changed. So I'm kind of more, I'm in my laid back kind of chilled era.
Yeah.
I'm loving what like. I love to watch people do what they do and thrive. I love to watch the youngins do what they do and thrive. The girlies, I love to watch them succeed and applause.
Yes.
I'll DM people.
Yes.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know me, I don't mind. I'm in that era.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of chilled and a little bit more relaxed.
And
I'm
hasn't-
not va
And
anymore.
because you're not hasn't it also changed your appetite for the certain places where you hang out?
Exactly.
Like
I'm so much more chill now. I'm so much more chill. In my demeanor, I'm still me, yes.
Yeah.
But so many things, even my appetite nje,
In
for
general.
food, like real appetite.
That's the thing.
With my healthy stuff, not that I was ever like a junk person
Yeah.
per se, but I love eating I'm in my fitness era as well.
in your green juice, in your ginger shots
I'm
era.
there. I'm there.
Yeah, and I feel like over time, that's how you know you've actually grown. I feel like when your appetite changes for many things, that's
Right.
one of the things that you can look out for I think for growth, you know, because like you were saying, like it's not about goof anymore. Like that just gives me a headache. Like
No.
I don't even if you see me at the club, I'm not sure. It's because Tasha's taken me there.
Or you were kidnapped.
You know, but like, why would you kidnap someone and take them to the club?
You never know.
You never know.
Never know.
But but when we're with our sisters-in-laws, honestly, all of them, all four of them, they really love a good time, and I think that's actually one of the only times where we actually get a bit goofy.
See, with the sisters, I don't mind, and I love.
Yeah, but we still,
I love.
You see, so but the appetite is it's different though, because it's not like what it used to be.
Yes.
You're not going to be out until the break of dawn.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm
but
saying?
But even if I do, it's that
With
once every now and then.
And then with them,
Yeah, 'cause
you know,
I still got it. Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm
we
saying?
do have those moments. We do have them, and remember, even with appetite, you don't want to have the same thing a lot,
time.
or else it just loses its novelty a little bit. So there are those moments where we have with the sisters-in-laws. We were actually even having a chat now about the holiday that's coming up, and we're all on the chat, and everybody's buzzing about the.
I love that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
the
be with my
sisters-in-laws-
family.
Yeah,
That's where you'll find
And our
me.
sisters-in-laws are buzzing, like literally buzzing about what's coming up, because we just want to have a good time, and that's the appetite that I have now. Is just that appetite of just being with a family and
being with people that I love.
Yeah.
And people that love me back and show me that are not hiding, that are not playing hard to get. No. People who love me on blast, in front of people who hug me and kiss me.
tell you they love you.
That's
you know
where
that
I am. That's
and
where
I love it when I say to somebody I love you, and I just get an I love you back, but I know that it's genuine and it's full of love, and
Yes.
or they say it to me first and then I'm the one who's saying love you too. It feels so good, and it's so
you know what
warming.
I think because we have a close relationship with each other.
Yeah.
Right? And we're obviously sisters are very affectionate with each other, but I think with the fact that we have a twin bond, we share everything. We like hugs and kisses.
and we like bodily, what do you call it? Body
Physical
warmth,
touch.
physical touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like it.
Exactly. So yeah, I relish in that kind of love.
But all of them, even Mwedi and
family.
Langa, also when Mwedi and Langa, they chill together, they also like physical touch.
Yeah.
They like to lean on,
And Pepe,
allowing each other, watch
touching
movies.
your face.
Lily and Pepe also do the same thing. That's how
Exactly.
we are. That's how we show affection, like a pack. You know, like
Literally.
we're literally like a pack of puppies. Like how puppies are exactly, that's how we are when we're watching movies and when we're hanging out. We just always cuddling.
I love it.
And I love it, you
I
know.
absolutely love
but, Langa Mwedi, is there anything else that we may have missed out when it comes to like the gift of time? Speaking of, Actually,
Yeah. I have a point.
Yeah.
One thing I know about timing, especially when you have a twin sister, speaking about twinship and twin love, is how people think our stuff happens or things happen for you at the same time because you are twins. But generally they don't. Yes, a lot of our milestones have happened together, right?
Yeah.
On that checklist, remember that checklist that we used to do that doesn't make sense anymore to
That
us?
doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly. It's
Exactly.
done.
So it's something that I thought of. Fun fact, Gifties and family. Did you know that Ntando moved out of home before I did? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I actually do remember that. I
Yeah.
don't even know how that happened, but it happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you moved out of home before I did. And that was obviously just your state of mind, where we were in life. We were young, probably like 22, 23. But
22, 23.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing.
It's
to me.
shocking. It's shocking, right?
Yeah.
But just thinking about that now, had I felt all types of ways, or like maybe unhappy for you, or displeased, or like when that was moving out of home, imagine what that would have done for us. I was so proud of you.
But we used to hang out all the time. It's
No, I
weird.
know,
Like it
'cause
was
I used to come to your house all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you inspired me so much during that time.
Wow, I had no idea at all.
I'm telling you now.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. That's awesome.
I thought it was so great because
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I was watching you buy cutlery, buy plates for your kitchen, for you to do your lounge. But I was just so inspired by that. But
Yeah.
it was your time
Yeah.
to move. You understand? And then I had my own time. You know? But that's just talking about, you know, not chasing what that was for you
At that time.
at that time. And I understood that that is
Yeah.
for you at this specific time. When God says it's my time is gonna come. All right, and I will applaud you. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting, but also, and I love that you've just touched on that, because a lot of the gifties that watch us now, they also have, like, obviously family dynamics, you know, whether it's in a community or like or your immediate family.
Yes.
So we are already now starting a new, like, we're getting into a new month now, and we've just finished like the first quarter, and a lot of your family members, maybe some of your family members at this point already in this new year, have achieved all of their goals.
Right.
And by all, I mean maybe you're looking at your family members who have bought cars. Some are pregnant, some have new houses,
Some are married. The checklist value.
Yeah, some have started new jobs, some have traveled, some have got new weave. I'm now putting things out there because people get jealous over the smallest little things. You know what I'm saying? Omunye has got a new rims. Like, people can be so petty sometimes,
Right.
you know? So I just want to say, you know, it's okay to look at somebody who has that new car and that new husband and be happy for them. It's not your time.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even have a license, but you're jealous that someone else has a car. Oh,
Make it make sense.
Okay, so you don't have a driver's license, but now your sister or your brother has a new car and you're jealous. It's like, no. You also need to prepare. So while you're also waiting for the new things in your life, the things that you want, prepare for them. Get the license, get the passport.
Right.
You know, save up for the inches. You know, don't wait.
Learn the new language if you want to move overseas.
Exactly.
Learn the new language.
You know, learn that new skill so that you are ready for when God brings you your blessings.
Right.
You know, and I think I'm so glad that you touched on that, because we can resent family members just merely based on the fact that they have and I don't. It's like iskati sako siyeza.
Siyeza, babes.
You know?
And Ntando and I have this thing where if somebody's being blessed and they are in your vicinity, they are in your family, could be a bestie, could be a cousin, whoever is in your immediate circle of friends, know God is working, and He's working where? In your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So if they are thriving, clap for them, because it means God is in the neighborhood.
He's in the neighborhood.
You know?
That's it.
So
He's in the neighborhood.
Always congratulate.
Yeah.
Your turn is coming.
Yeah, and
your time is coming.
Definitely. And if there's anything else that we've missed out, please we're open to receiving your DMs. We're open to seeing all of the points that we may have missed out. So whatever time gives us, put it in the comments. And also even healing is one of them. So you can even expand on that. Where have you healed over time? Where has God touched your heart? Where has somebody else touched your heart over
But
time?
they say time is a healer. We were speaking about something today. Yeah, what were you saying about?
I was actually saying that people say time is a healer, but it's not really a healer. It's what you do in the time to heal. So you could have broken up with somebody, or you can literally break a bone or hurt yourself or burn yourself or whatever. But the doctor will tell you, do this, apply this twice a day so that this thing can heal.
Dress the wound, for example.
Wash the wound and then dress the wound. But if you're not going to take the instructions of the doctor, it'll take very long to heal. And if you don't do what the doctor tells you, not only may you not heal, it can go septic. and then now having to now chop off the whole limb because you didn't listen to how to actually treat the wound, you know.
Right.
And the same thing even with life. So time actually gives you the opportunity to heal. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go for therapy to heal?
I hear you.
Which types of people are you going to surround yourself with? You know, what are you willing to do to get yourself to a point of healing? What are those triggers? Work on your triggers and know what they are so that you may be able to recognize them when they happen, or when you react a certain way to certain situations. Ask yourself, why am I so offended? Why would someone saying that offend me? And why would I react that way? So that's a trigger point, and that's a point that you can heal in. So I honestly believe in healing in solitude. You know, I never want to be healing in front of people. And I think that's a nice thing, even sores and bones. You notice how they always heal wrapped. They wrap up for a reason.
And they heal overnight. It's like a scab forms overnight.
And over time. So it may start off very, very painful in the beginning because it's bandaged, but over time you can remove the gauze, you can remove the bandages. And that's how I feel about life as well. I found myself healing more in solitude. I found I healed better in isolation. So I was a bruised little caterpillar. But over time I got into my little cocoon, and then I started listening to my own thoughts. I started navigating the way that I speak, the way that I do things, the way that I move, and I kind of reflected on that. And over time, every day, and I'm still doing it today. So maybe today I was snappy to somebody. It doesn't mean that I'm not the butterfly. I'm not a butterfly anymore. I'm still a butterfly that snapped at you today, but every day is like, remember, I'm a person also, and I keep learning, and I want to evolve, you know. But I did find myself healing in isolation, and I would advise anybody to actually, let me not even advise anybody to do anything. You can.
That setup worked for you.
It worked well for me, and I do feel like time is not a healer. It is what you do in that time that will actually heal you. You know, it's so important to look at yourself, because we're all different. We all know what we need to heal. Some people may need a therapist. Some people may need a pastor. Some people may need a mom, a dad, a father figure, a sister, a brother. You know, so you have to know who you are, where you're going, so that you know what type of healing that you need. Because remember, even diseases are different. People have different types of illnesses, and we don't treat them the same.
Right.
So that's how I feel about healing, you know. Is there anything else that you want to
No, that's literally it.
That's really it. Yeah. So if you feel like we've left out anything that maybe time can, if you felt like we missed out on anything that time gifts us, put it in the comments. We want to know about it. If you don't want to put it in the comments, like I said, put it in the DMs. You can also DM us on TikTok now.
The gift of time.
You know,
something we also didn't cover, but I just think to end it off, I think this would be nice. There's also times where you must make haste.
Yeah,
grab the opportunities.
You're right.
The gift of time. Sometimes the time is now.
Sometimes the time is now. I love that.
So you gotta have the wisdom to know: is this something I'm gonna sleep on for like a week, 2 weeks, or is this something that needs action now? So yeah.
Because sometimes you may miss the time.
You don't want to miss the Kairos moments. You know what I'm saying? So the gift of time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Like Ntando said, give us a comment in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.